Welcome to ReadFlow Audiobook, where we bring you the most powerful and transformative audiobooks to fuel your growth and success. Today you're about to experience something truly unique, the secret book they don't want you to read. Why is it secret? Because inside are the timeless truths and hidden principles about attraction, mindset and personal power that most people overlook or even try to suppress. This isn't just another audiobook. This is your blueprint to unlocking the life you've always deserved. So get comfortable, open your mind and prepare to step into knowledge that can reshape your future. Let's begin with Chapter 1. Chapter 1: The Hidden Truth About Attraction. They say knowledge is power, but in reality, applied knowledge is power. And throughout history there have been certain truths so powerful, so life-altering, that those who understood them used them to rise above the masses, while those who didn't remained trapped in cycles of struggle. These truths were never meant for everyone. They were whispered in secret circles, taught in fragments to chosen students, and hidden inside texts that most people would never read. This book you are listening to is built on those timeless secrets, and here is the first and perhaps the most important one. The life you are living right now is the direct reflection of the beliefs, choices, and energy you project every single day. Most people believe life is something that happens to them, that they are the product of circumstance, luck, or fate. But the hidden truth is this: life is not happening to you. Life is responding to you. Your outer world mirrors your inner world. The quality of your thoughts, the frequency of your emotions, and the clarity of your vision create the reality you experience. This is not philosophy, it is the foundation of attraction, because if you truly understood and applied it, you would no longer be controlled by fear, scarcity, or limitation. You would stop relying on external forces to determine your worth, and you would step into the uncomfortable truth: you are responsible for creating your reality. That is both liberating and terrifying. Liberating because it means you are not powerless. Terrifying because it strips away excuses. You can no longer blame fate, your past, or other people. The mirror points back at you. And yet this is the very idea that the most successful, influential, and fulfilled people in history have lived by. From ancient philosophers to modern innovators, they all tapped into this hidden law: energy flows where attention goes, and life bends in response to the strength of your inner world. Every thought, every feeling, every action carries a frequency. When you hold negative thoughts, fear, doubt, resentment, you emit low frequencies that attract circumstances that match them. When you hold positive, expansive thoughts, gratitude, love, confidence, you emit higher frequencies that draw opportunities, people, and events aligned with them. This is why two people can face the same challenge, yet one sinks while the other rises. The difference is not luck, it is alignment. One sees only obstacles, the other sees possibility. One radiates scarcity, the other radiates abundance. Life reflects accordingly. Daily practice. Begin noticing the emotional tone you carry throughout the day. Are you walking with heaviness or with lightness? Are your words laced with scarcity or gratitude? Awareness of your frequency is the first step in transforming it. If you believe opportunities are rare, you will overlook them even when they appear. If you believe you are unworthy of love, you will sabotage relationships. But if you believe you are capable, deserving, and resourceful, life has no choice but to reflect that. Beliefs are not truths. They are choices reinforced over time. And the forbidden secret is that beliefs can be rewritten. The stories you've been told about who you are, what you can achieve, and what you deserve are not permanent. They can be challenged, replaced, and upgraded. Daily practice. Identify one limiting belief you hold about yourself. Write it down, then write its opposite. Empowering belief. Begin affirming the new belief daily until it feels natural. This is how you rewire the filter through which life flows. Step 3. The role of vision. If you do not know where you are going, how can life guide you there? Vision is the blueprint that shapes attraction. Clarity creates momentum. Without vision, energy scatters. With vision, energy aligns. Think of your mind as a magnet. If it is undefined, it pulls randomly. But when it is programmed with clear, specific images of the future, it draws corresponding people, opportunities, and circumstances. Daily practice. Every morning, spend 5 minutes visualizing the life you desire. not vaguely but vividly. See the details, feel the emotions, and experience the reality as though it were already here. This act of mental rehearsal primes your subconscious and sets your frequency for the day. Step 4. Emotion as the fuel. Thought creates direction, but emotion gives it power. A vision without emotion is just a wish, but when you combine clear intention with elevated emotion, gratitude, joy, certainty, you ignite the energy that attracts. This is why gratitude is one of the most powerful practices of attraction. When you feel grateful for what you already have, you send out a signal of abundance, and abundance attracts abundance. Daily practice. As you visualize your vision, anchor it with strong positive emotion. Smile, breathe deeply, and allow yourself to feel as though your desired life is already yours. The feeling is the magnet, but thought without action is incomplete. Action is the physical proof of belief. It is the bridge between the invisible and the visible. When you take aligned action, steps that reflect faith in your vision, you accelerate attraction. You show life that you are serious. You open the door for synchronicity. Daily practice. Ask yourself, what small action can I take today that aligns with my vision? Then do it. It could be a conversation, a new routine, or even letting go of something that no longer serves you. Action is attraction in motion. A story to remember. There is an old tale about a farmer in a drought-stricken village. While others sat waiting for rain, the farmer went to his field every morning and prepared the soil. He tilled the ground, cleared the rocks, and planted seeds, even when the sky was clear. The villagers mocked him, saying, "Why waste your energy? Can't you see there is no rain?" The farmer simply replied, "When the rain comes, I must be ready." Weeks later, the clouds broke and rain poured over the village. The farmer's field, already prepared, bloomed with abundance. The others, unprepared, were left scrambling. The lesson: belief plus preparation attracts opportunity. When you align thought, emotion, and action, life cannot help but respond. The first key. So here is the first key from the secret book they don't want you to read. You are not a passive recipient of life. You are the architect. Your beliefs, vision, emotions, and actions are constantly shaping the reality you experience. This truth has been hidden, dismissed, and ridiculed because if everyone lived by it, control would vanish. People would stop settling for less, stop waiting for permission, and begin building lives of freedom, abundance, and purpose. Now you know. The question is, what will you do with this knowledge? Final thoughts on Chapter 1. Attraction is not magic. It is alignment. It is the science of energy, the psychology of belief, and the courage of action, woven into one daily practice. As you step forward into this journey, remind yourself, the world you desire is not out there. It begins within you. Shift your frequency, rewrite your beliefs, clarify your vision, fuel it with emotion, and anchor it with action. That is the hidden truth. That is the power you were never meant to fully know, and that is only the beginning. Chapter 2. Mastering the subconscious mind. If the conscious mind is the captain steering the ship, then the subconscious mind is the vast ocean beneath it. Deep, powerful, and endlessly influential. The conscious mind makes choices, sets goals, and decides directions. But the subconscious mind controls the current. It is what either pushes you forward effortlessly or drags you back into the same cycles, no matter how hard you row. This is the secret most people miss. It is not enough to consciously decide to change your life. Unless your subconscious mind is aligned, you will keep repeating old patterns. Think about it. Have you ever made a resolution to change? Maybe to start a business, eat healthier, or improve relationships, only to fall back into your old habits within weeks. That wasn't because you were weak or lazy. It was because your subconscious programming did not match your conscious decision. The forbidden truth is this: 95% of your daily thoughts, decisions, and actions come from the subconscious. Only 5% come from your conscious choice. This means the silent scripts running in the background determine almost everything about your reality. And here's the shocking part. Most of those scripts were not chosen by you. They were programmed into you by childhood experiences, social conditioning, and repetition. From the moment you were born, your subconscious absorbed beliefs from parents, teachers, culture, and media. By age 7, most of your mental blueprint was already set. If those beliefs empowered you, if you were taught abundance, self-worth and confidence, you naturally thrive. But if those beliefs planted fear, scarcity or unworthiness, they continue to sabotage you in ways you can't even see. The gatekeeper of your reality. Imagine your subconscious mind as the soil of a field. Whatever seeds are planted, beliefs, ideas, emotions grow automatically. If you've planted weeds of doubt and fear, they will grow, even if you consciously wish for flowers of success. The soil does not judge it, simply produces what is planted most consistently. This is why affirmations and visualizations sometimes don't work for people. If the subconscious is filled with contradictory programming, the old roots will strangle new seeds before they can grow. To truly transform your life, you must reprogram the soil. Step 1. Awareness of the hidden patterns. The first step is to recognize the invisible patterns that run your life. These show up as recurring obstacles, repeated mistakes, or emotional triggers. If you keep facing the same problems in relationships, finances, or health, that is not random. It is a reflection of subconscious programming. Ask yourself, why do I attract the same kind of people into my life? Why do I set goals but fail to follow through? Why do I fear success as much as failure? Behind every why is a subconscious belief silently pulling the strings. Daily practice. Keep a journal of patterns you notice. Each time you repeat a mistake or feel resistance, write it down. This creates awareness of the subconscious script at work. Step 2. The language of the subconscious. Here's what they don't tell you. The subconscious mind does not speak in logic or reason. It speaks in symbols, repetition, and emotion. That's why movies, music, and media affect us so deeply. They bypass logic and feed straight into the subconscious. Similarly, traumatic events often shape us more than rational explanations, because the subconscious responds to intensity, not argument. If you want to reprogram your subconscious, you must speak its language. The symbols, vivid images, stories, metaphors, repetition, consistent input over time, emotion, strong feelings attached to thoughts. This is why daily visualization works. When you create vivid, emotionally charged images of your desired reality and repeat them, you are literally feeding new instructions to your subconscious. Nighttime is powerful because your brain shifts into slower frequencies, alpha and theta waves, the gateway to the subconscious. The people you spend time with, the spaces you live in, the media you consume, they are all planting seeds in your mental soil. If you surround yourself with negativity, scarcity, and limitation, your subconscious will reflect it. But if you immerse yourself in inspiration, success, and growth, your subconscious begins to shift automatically. This is why mentorship and community are so powerful. Being in the presence of those who have achieved what you want imprints new subconscious beliefs. If they can do it, so can I. Daily practice. Audit your environment. Remove one toxic influence, whether it's a person, habit, or media source, and replace it with something empowering. Small shifts compound over time. Step 4. Repetition and ritual. The subconscious is like a muscle. It strengthens through repetition. One affirmation won't change you, but consistent practice will. One visualization won't rewire your mind, but daily rehearsal will. Ritual is the way you harness repetition. Morning and evening rituals are especially potent, because your mind is most suggestible when you first wake up and right before you sleep. Daily practice. Create a morning ritual that includes affirmations, visualization, and gratitude. Even 5 minutes daily begins the reprogramming process. Many of us carry unresolved wounds, moments of rejection, failure, or pain that lodge deep within the subconscious and silently shape our choices. You cannot plant new seeds in soil filled with rocks. Emotional healing clears the ground. This might mean forgiving yourself, releasing resentment, or processing old pain. The forbidden truth is this: your success is not only about what you add, it is about what you release. Daily practice. Take time to sit with your emotions instead of suppressing them. Ask yourself, what am I holding on to that no longer serves me? Journal, meditate, or seek guidance to release it. The warrior trained, sharpened his blade, and prepared for battle. But when the day came, he discovered his greatest enemy was not another warrior, it was the reflection staring back at him. The sword was never meant to strike outward, but inward, to cut away fear, doubt and old programming. Once he defeated the enemy within, no outer battle could shake him. Your subconscious is that battlefield. Until you master it, the outer world will remain a mirror of inner chaos. But once you align it, the outer world bends to reflect your inner mastery. The second key. So here is the second key from the secret book. They don't want you to read. Your subconscious mind is the silent architect of your destiny. Unless you consciously reprogram it, you will repeat old cycles. But once you align it, nothing can stop you. This is why many people feel trapped no matter how hard they try, because they are rowing against the current of old subconscious patterns. But the moment you reprogram those patterns, the current shifts and life begins to carry you effortlessly toward your vision. Final thoughts on Chapter 2. The subconscious mind is not your enemy. It is your most powerful ally, but only if you take the time to train it. By feeding it the right symbols, emotions, and repetitions, you can transform it from a saboteur into a servant of your highest vision. Remember, your subconscious controls 95% of your life. Master it, and you master your destiny. Chapter 3. The magnetic force of desire and intention. At the core of every great achievement, behind every extraordinary life, lies one element that cannot be faked, borrowed, or bypassed: desire. Desire is the spark that ignites possibility. It is the fire in the soul that pushes people to climb mountains, build empires, or defy impossible odds. But here's the forbidden truth. While most people think they know what they want, their desires are often shallow, borrowed, or misaligned. And shallow desire produces shallow results. If the subconscious mind is the soil of your life, then desire is the seed you plant. Without a strong, authentic seed, no amount of visualization, affirmation, or action will produce meaningful results. The seed must be alive, pulsing with life energy, if it is to grow into a reality worth living. The difference between true desire and surface want. There's a vast difference between a surface want and a true desire. A want is fleeting, often shaped by external influences. Maybe you want a bigger house, a luxury car, or admiration from others. But is that truly your soul's desire, or is it conditioning from society? A true desire runs deeper. It is the longing that keeps you awake at night, the vision that lights up your imagination when you're alone. It feels alive in your bones, not just appealing on the surface. True desires pull you forward even when things get difficult. Surface wants fade at the first sign of resistance. True desires endure. They magnetize you, pulling you into alignment with the life you are meant to create. The forbidden nature of desire. Why would desire be considered forbidden? Because true desire makes you powerful. When you are crystal clear on what you want, and that desire is rooted in authenticity rather than borrowed expectation, you become unstoppable. Society often discourages deep desire. We're told to be realistic, to settle for what is available, to avoid asking for too much. Why? Because someone who is fully connected to their true desires cannot be controlled. They no longer chase meaningless distractions. They move with clarity and fire. This is why so many live half-lives, silencing their desires and living by default. They suppress their longings to avoid judgment, failure, or discomfort. But suppressed desire does not disappear. It rots into frustration, envy, and regret. The forbidden truth is this: you were not meant to shrink your desires. You were meant to expand them. Step 1. Clarifying desire. Clarity is power. If your desire is vague, your life will be vague. If your desire is sharp, your life takes shape around it. Most people say things like, "I want to be happy," or "I want success." But what does that mean? Happiness in what form? Success in what arena? The universe responds to specificity. Daily practice. Take time to define your desires with precision. Write down exactly what you want in each area of your life: health, relationships, career, spirituality. Use detail. For example, don't just write "I want more money." Write "I desire to create a thriving business that generates $10,000 a month, giving me freedom and security." Specificity transforms wishful thinking into a magnetic blueprint. Intention channels desire into focus, giving it momentum. Think of a magnifying glass. The sun's rays are powerful, but when scattered they warm. When focused through the lens they ignite fire. That's what intention does to desire. It concentrates your energy into an unstoppable force. Daily practice. After defining your desires, set intentions by asking, why do I want this? What purpose does it serve? Align your desire with a deeper meaning. A desire for wealth may be surface level, but if the intention is freedom, contribution or security, the energy becomes far stronger. When you emotionally connect to your desires, they become irresistible to your subconscious mind. This is why people who desperately want something but feel unworthy rarely achieve it. Their emotion is rooted in lack and fear, which repels the very thing they crave. The secret is to desire with confidence, with joy, with the emotional frequency of already having it. Daily practice. When you visualize your desires, don't just see them, feel them. If you desire love, feel the warmth of connection. If you desire success, feel the pride of accomplishment. If you desire health, feel the vitality in your body. Emotion is the fuel that powers the magnet. Step 4. From desire to decision. Here's where most people fail. They confuse desire with decision. They want change but never decide. They leave doors open for excuses and hesitation. But the universe responds to decision, not vague wishing. When you decide that your desire will manifest, you collapse uncertainty. Your actions, thoughts and energy align around it. Decision is the line between dreaming and doing. Daily practice. Choose one of your strongest desires and make a firm decision that it will manifest. Write it as a declaration. This is my reality, and I will live it. Watch how this simple act sharpens your focus and action. Step 5. Taking aligned action. Desire pulls, but action proves. Without aligned action, desire is just a daydream, but with action, desire becomes destiny. Aligned action does not mean frantic effort. It means taking steps that reflect faith in your desire. If you desire to write a book, writing one page today is aligned action. If you desire to improve your health, preparing a nourishing meal is aligned action. Do it, no matter how small. These actions compound, turning invisible energy into visible results. When asked how he always hit his mark, he replied, "Most people shoot with shaky hands hoping to get lucky. I shoot with steady hands, because I have already struck the target in my mind before the arrow leaves my bow. My desire is clear, my focus is steady, and my arrow has no choice but to follow." That is the essence of desire and intention combined. The target is already hit in the mind before it appears in reality. The third key. So here is the third key from the secret book they don't want you to read. True desire, aligned with clear intention, becomes a magnetic force. It pulls opportunities, people and circumstances toward you as if by gravity. Without true desire, you drift. With it, you move with precision. Without intention, you scatter. With it, you focus. And when you combine both, you become unstoppable. It is the voice of your soul, calling you toward your highest potential. Intention is the compass that directs it. Together they form the magnetic power that reshapes your reality. The forbidden truth is this: the universe does not respond to half-hearted wishes. It responds to burning desires backed by unshakable intention. When you clarify what you want, align it with purpose, fuel it with emotion, and prove it through action, your life transforms. Chapter 4. The Discipline of Focus. Desire is the spark. Intention is the compass. But without discipline and focus, even the strongest desires remain unfulfilled. Think of a river. When water flows freely, it spreads everywhere, shallow and slow. But when that same water is channeled into a narrow path, it carves through mountains. That is the difference between scattered energy and focused energy. Desire without focus is a flood. It overwhelms, but it does not move you forward. Desire with focus is a river. It cuts a path straight toward your destiny. This is the truth they don't want you to realize. Discipline is freedom. While the masses believe discipline is restriction, those who master it know it is the ultimate key to power. Discipline gives you control over your time, your actions, and your destiny. Without it, you are enslaved by distraction, impulse, and external forces. Because in a world built on distraction, a focused mind is dangerous. Entire industries profit from scattering your attention, social media, entertainment, advertising, all competing for your focus. The less focus you have, the easier you are to control. But when you reclaim your focus, you take back your power. You stop being a consumer of distractions and start becoming a creator of reality. This is why history's greatest leaders, thinkers, and innovators all cultivated ruthless focus. They understood that attention is currency, and where attention goes, energy flows. Dikit. Step 1. The discipline of saying no. Focus begins with elimination, not addition. Most people try to add productivity hacks, routines, or tools without first removing the noise, but focus requires sacrifice. You must say no to distractions that drain your energy. This includes people who constantly pull you into drama, habits that waste your time, and even internal distractions like self-doubt or overthinking. Daily practice. Each day, ask yourself, what one thing can I remove today that scatters my focus? Delete an app, turn off notifications, decline an unproductive meeting, or distance yourself from draining conversations. Every no is a step toward freedom. Step 2. The power of single tasking. We live in a culture that glorifies multitasking, but the truth is, multitasking divides your power. The human mind is not designed to fully focus on multiple complex tasks at once. When you scatter your attention, you reduce your effectiveness. The secret is single tasking, pouring your energy into one priority until it is complete. This creates momentum, clarity, and deep work that compounds over time. Daily practice. Choose your top priority for the day and commit to finishing it before moving to the next. Protect that time with intensity. No phone, no distractions, no interruptions. Give it your full presence. Step 3. Building discipline through small wins. Discipline is not built overnight. It is trained like a muscle, strengthened through consistent small wins. Each time you follow through on a promise to yourself, you reinforce self-trust. Each time you break a promise, you weaken it. The forbidden truth is this. Self-discipline is not about control over others. It is about control over yourself. When you can command your mind, your emotions, and your actions, you become unstoppable. Daily practice. Create one small non-negotiable daily habit, such as making your bed, doing 20 push-ups, or journaling. Complete it, no matter what. This small discipline anchors bigger discipline. Step 4. Harnessing the power of ritual. Ritual transforms discipline from a struggle into a rhythm. When you create rituals around your priorities, you reduce decision fatigue and automate success. For example, if you have a ritual of writing every morning at 6 a.m., it stops being a question of if you will write, it becomes automatic. Ritual bypasses willpower and taps into consistency. Daily practice. Design a morning and evening ritual that supports your focus. In the morning, set intentions and prioritize your top task. In the evening, reflect, release distractions, and prepare for the next day. Step 5. The role of environment in focus. Just as your environment programs your subconscious, it also shapes your discipline. A cluttered space scatters your mind, a noisy environment fractures your focus, but a clean, intentional environment anchors your discipline. This is why monks retreat to temples, athletes train in arenas, and writers carve out quiet spaces. Environment supports focus. Daily practice. Declutter one area of your environment each day. Remove what distracts you and replace it with tools that support your discipline. A clean desk, a quiet room, or even noise-canceling headphones can transform your focus. He replied, I simply chip away everything that is not the statue. That is the art of discipline and focus. You do not create greatness by adding endlessly. You create it by removing distractions until only the essential remain. The fourth key. So here is the fourth key from the secret book they don't want you to read. Discipline and focus are not chains. They are wings. They do not restrict you. They release you from the prison of chaos. When you master discipline, You no longer waste energy on endless choices, temptations, or distractions. You channel all your power into the few things that matter, and in a distracted world, this makes you extraordinary. Final thoughts on Chapter 4. The masses are scattered, pulled in 1,000 directions, never moving far in any. But the few who master discipline and focus carve paths through life like rivers through stone. The forbidden truth is this: your destiny is not determined by how much you want something, but by how consistently you focus on it. Desire ignites the flame, but discipline keeps it burning. Focus ensures the flame does not scatter, it lights the path forward. Chapter 5. The Power of Belief and Identity. Every great change begins not with action, but with belief. You may discipline yourself, focus your energy, and set powerful intentions, but if deep within you lies a belief that says, "I am not enough," or "I cannot have this," your subconscious will sabotage your progress. The forbidden truth is this: your identity, the story you tell yourself about who you are, sets the limits of your life. The world reflects not what you want, but what you believe yourself worthy of receiving. The invisible force that shapes reality. Belief is invisible, yet it dictates everything. A person who believes they are unworthy of wealth will unconsciously reject opportunities, procrastinate on action, or even self-sabotage when success arrives. Conversely, one who believes they are destined for abundance will persist, attract and notice opportunities others overlook. Identity is the strongest force in human behavior. We will always act in alignment with who we believe we are. If you see yourself as weak, you will find ways to prove yourself right. If you see yourself as powerful, you will rise to challenges. This is why society conditions people with limiting belief. If you can convince someone they are powerless, you never have to chain them. They will chain themselves. That is the hidden control mechanism. Limiting beliefs create self-imposed prison. Step 1. Recognize the stories you tell yourself. Every day your mind repeats silent stories. I'm too old. I'm not smart enough. I'll never be successful. People like me don't achieve that. These stories become your identity, and your identity becomes your destiny. The first step is awareness. Write down the repeating beliefs that echo in your mind. Do not judge them. Simply observe. Awareness breaks their unconscious grip. Daily practice. Each time you hear yourself say, "I am," notice what follows. I am tired. I am broke. I am unlucky. Catch these identities, because every "I am" is a declaration to the universe. Step 2. Reframe and redefine. Once you've identified your limiting stories, you must consciously replace them. If you don't, your mind will continue replaying the old identity, like a broken record. Instead of "I am unlucky," reframe to "I am learning how to create my own luck." Instead of "I am not confident," shift to "I am growing stronger in confidence each day." This isn't empty affirmation, it's rewiring. Your subconscious believes repetition, not logic. By repeating empowering identities daily, you literally sculpt a new version of yourself. Daily practice. Choose 3 empowering "I am" statements that reflect the identity you want to embody. Write them, say them, and feel them as though they are already true. Step 3. Anchor beliefs with evidence. Belief becomes unshakable when it is anchored in evidence. If you say, "I am disciplined," but never follow through, the belief feels hollow. But if you act in alignment, your subconscious accepts it. Small, consistent actions reinforce identity. Each time you follow through on discipline, you reinforce the belief, "I am disciplined." Each time you act with courage, you reinforce, "I am brave." Daily practice. Track small wins that prove your new identity true. Write them in a journal. Each win is evidence that strengthens your belief. Step 4. Expand your reference points. One of the fastest ways to expand belief is to expand your reference points. What you see as possible. When you witness people from similar backgrounds achieving greatness, your mind says, "If they can, maybe I can too." This is why stories of success are powerful. Exposure to possibility shatters limiting beliefs. Surround yourself with examples of those who live the life you desire. Daily practice. Study biographies, interviews, or communities of people achieving in your area of focus. Feed your mind evidence of possibility until belief expands naturally. Step 5. The role of imagination. Your subconscious does not distinguish vividly imagined experiences from real ones. Athletes visualize victories before they happen. Speakers rehearse their talks in their minds. Leaders envision outcomes before they act. Imagination is rehearsal for reality. When you imagine yourself living your desired identity, your subconscious begins aligning thoughts, actions, and opportunities to make it real. Daily practice. Spend 5 minutes each day closing your eyes and vividly imagining yourself as the identity you desire. See it, feel it, breathe it. Let your subconscious rehearse success until it becomes familiar. A story to illustrate. There is a story of an elephant tied to a small rope. Though strong enough to break free, the elephant never tries. Why? Because as a baby, it was tied to that same rope and truly could not escape. Over time it accepted the belief, I cannot break free. Even when fully grown, the belief held more power than reality. How many of us are like that elephant, living small, not because of real limits, but because of beliefs we accepted long ago? The fifth key from the secret book they don't want you to read is this. You are not your past. You are your chosen identity. You are free to redefine yourself at any moment. You are not the failures, not the rejections, not the voices that told you what you couldn't do. You are what you decide to believe about yourself. Starting now. Final thoughts on Chapter 5. Belief is the hidden foundation of reality. You can work hard, but if your identity says you are small, your results will remain small. Change your identity, and your entire life changes with it. Remember, the world does not give you what you ask for. It gives you what you are, and what you are is determined by what you believe. Chapter 6. The Secret Art of Alignment. You've learned how to spark desire, set intention, master discipline, and shape your identity through belief. But here lies the next forbidden truth. Power is not found in isolated effort, but in alignment. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions move in different directions, life feels like pushing a boulder uphill. You desire one thing, believe another, and act in contradiction, and so your results remain scattered. But when your thoughts, emotions, and actions all point in the same direction, the universe responds with momentum. Doors open, synchronicities occur, and what once felt impossible begins to unfold naturally. This is the hidden force of alignment. Why alignment is rare. Most people live in conflict. They say they want success but harbor guilt around money. They desire love but carry fear of rejection. They crave health but identify as undisciplined. This inner division weakens their energy. Alignment is rare because it requires honesty and courage. It means confronting the parts of yourself that resist your desires, bringing them into harmony instead of hiding them. The truth they don't want you to know is this. When you are aligned, you become magnetic. You stop chasing what you want. What you want begins to move toward you. For example, repeating "I'll never succeed" while working hard creates an invisible ceiling. To align thought, you must choose mental patterns that match your desired reality. This doesn't mean ignoring challenges, but it does mean choosing thoughts that empower rather than weaken. Daily practice. When you catch yourself thinking in contradiction to your desire, pause and replace it with a more aligned perspective. Instead of "I can't do this," say "I am learning how to master this." Step 2. Aligning emotion. True alignment requires emotional congruence. You must learn to feel the emotions of the outcome before it arrives. Gratitude, joy, excitement, as though you are already living it. Daily practice. Spend 5 minutes a day entering the emotional state of your desired outcome. Close your eyes, imagine having it now, and feel the joy and gratitude as deeply as you can. When your actions consistently reflect your beliefs and desires, you create undeniable momentum. Yet here's the secret. Action does not always mean massive leaps. Small, consistent, aligned steps compound into transformation. Even the simplest action, repeated daily, anchors alignment in the physical world. Daily practice. Ask yourself each morning, What one action can I take today that aligns with the life I am creating? Then do it, no matter how small. Step 4. Resolving inner conflicts. Alignment often requires healing contradictions. For example, you may desire wealth, but unconsciously believe wealth is greedy. Or you may want love, but secretly fear intimacy. These conflicts create resistance. The way forward is not suppression, but integration. Identify the conflicting belief, question its origin, and replace it with a belief that supports alignment. Daily practice. Journal about areas where you feel resistance. Ask, what belief am I holding that contradicts my desire? Then consciously reframe it. Step 5. Trusting the flow. Alignment does not mean controlling every detail. It means setting your direction and allowing flow. Imagine rowing downstream versus fighting against the current. Alignment is rowing with the river of life. Trusting it carries you forward. The secret is surrender, not inaction, but trust. Once your thoughts, emotions, and actions are aligned, you must release the need to force outcomes. This is where synchronicities and opportunities arise. Daily practice. Practice letting go of attachment to how things unfold. Focus instead on staying aligned in the present moment. He tried harder, practiced longer, and grew frustrated. One day his teacher said, "Your eye aims at the target, but your heart fears missing, and your hand shakes with doubt. Align them, and the arrow will fly true." The archer finally realized skill was not enough. Alignment was the missing piece. When he aligned his thoughts, emotions, and actions, his arrows found the target effortlessly. The sixth key from the secret book they don't want you to read is this: true power is not force, it is alignment. When your thoughts envision the goal, your emotions fuel it with passion, and your actions express it daily, you create harmony. That harmony resonates with reality itself, and life responds in kind. Final thoughts on Chapter 6. Most people live divided, 1 foot on the gas, 1 foot on the brake. They desire but doubt, act but hesitate, and wonder why results stall. But the aligned individual becomes unstoppable. Their inner world and outer actions sing in harmony, and the world cannot help but respond. Alignment is not luck, it is a practice, and when mastered, it is the secret art of effortless momentum. Chapter 7. The Hidden Law of Energy Exchange. In the quiet corners of ancient wisdom whispered only among initiates, there lies a truth both simple and profound. Life is an exchange of energy. Every interaction, every relationship, every choice is a transaction of energy, giving and receiving, input and output, inhale and exhale. This principle is not just spiritual poetry, it is the underlying law of balance in the universe. The reason this knowledge feels forbidden is because society thrives on imbalance. Many are conditioned to give endlessly without receiving, or to hoard without giving. Both states block the natural flow of abundance. Mastering energy exchange means stepping outside this conditioning and reclaiming balance, which makes you powerful and free. Why energy exchange matters. Think of electricity. For current to flow, there must be a complete circuit. Break the circuit and the energy halts. Life is the same. When you hoard energy without release, it stagnates. When you give without replenishing, you deplete. Only balance sustains. This is why generosity without self-care leads to burnout, and ambition without contribution leads to emptiness. Energy seeks flow. To live fully, you must give and receive in harmony. Awaken. Step 1. Giving as expansion. Giving is not loss. It is expansion. When you give time, kindness, or resources from a place of abundance, you signal to the universe that you have more than enough. This act of generosity creates space for more to flow back to you. The forbidden truth here is that giving strategically, without martyrdom, without resentment, elevates both you and the receiver. Every act of pure giving multiplies energy. Daily practice. Each day, give something intentional. It may be encouragement, knowledge, attention, or service. Give with joy, without expectation, and watch how life reflects it back. Step 2. Receiving without guilt. Many people block abundance, not because they don't give, but because they resist receiving. They feel unworthy of compliments, success, or help. This resistance creates imbalance, cutting off the flow. To master energy exchange, you must receive openly, accept gifts, praise, and opportunities without guilt, with gratitude instead. Receiving completes the circuit of giving. Daily practice. The next time someone offers you help, praise, or kindness, receive it fully. Instead of deflecting, simply say, "Thank you." Notice the energy shift. Awaken. Step 3. Money as energy. Money is one of the clearest forms of energy exchange. It is not inherently good or evil. It is a symbol of value moving through the world. Those who demonize money block it. Those who worship money distort it. But those who see it as flow align with it. Think of money as breath. You inhale, receive. You exhale, spend or give. To hoard endlessly is like holding your breath. It suffocates. To give recklessly without receiving is like exhaling without inhaling. It exhausts. Balance creates prosperity. Daily practice. Each time you spend money, pause and feel gratitude for the exchange. Instead of fear, affirm, "This energy returns to me multiplied." Step 4. Relationships as energy loops. Relationships thrive on balanced exchange. When one side gives endlessly, while the other only takes, imbalance creates resentment or dependency. Healthy relationships circulate energy, support, attention, love, so both are elevated. Examine your relationships. Where do you feel drained? Where do you feel uplifted? The answer lies in energy exchange. Daily practice. Identify one relationship where you overgive. Set a boundary or invite reciprocity. Notice how balance restores vitality. Step 5. Aligning with universal flow. Ultimately, energy exchange is about alignment with universal flow. The sun gives light freely. The earth receives it and gives back life. The ocean waves rise and fall. Everywhere you look, existence is balanced exchange. When you give and receive in harmony, you align yourself with this universal rhythm. Abundance becomes natural. Synchronicities increase, and opportunities flow toward you effortlessly. Daily practice. Visualize your life as a river of energy flowing through you, coming in, going out. Each day ask, "Where can I open the flow wider?" Wider. A story to illustrate. There is a parable of a wise man who visited 2 lakes. One lake sparkled with life. Fish swam, plants thrived, birds sang. The other lake was stagnant, foul, and lifeless. He asked the villagers why. They said, "The first lake has both an inlet and an outlet. Water flows in, water flows out, and life circulates. The second lake has only an inlet. Water flows in but never out, so it stagnates." The wise man smiled and said, "So it is with people. Those who give and receive freely remain full of life. Those who only take or only give stagnate." The seventh key from the secret book they don't want you to read is this: life rewards flow, not stagnation. To master abundance, you must master exchange. Give freely, receive openly. Let energy circulate through you without fear, guilt, or greed. This is the hidden law that multiplies everything you touch. You are here to circulate energy, to create, to share, to receive, to expand. Every breath, every choice, every interaction is part of this sacred exchange. Those who understand this law rise above lack, because they see abundance not as a possession, but as a flow they can step into at any time. Remember, the more freely energy moves through you, the more life multiplies around you. Chapter 8. The Alchemy of Resilience. There is a secret force woven into the lives of all who achieve greatness. It is not luck, not genius, not privilege. It is resilience. Resilience is the alchemy of turning obstacles into fuel, setbacks into stepping stones, and pain into power. It is the refusal to be broken, the ability to bend without snapping, to fall and rise stronger. This knowledge is rarely spoken of because society thrives on fragile minds. When people crumble at the first sign of difficulty, they are easy to control, easy to discourage, easy to keep small, but when you become resilient, you become unstoppable, because no force outside you can determine your destiny. Why resilience is essential. No matter how clear your desire, how powerful your belief, or how aligned your actions, life will test you. Obstacles will appear, people will doubt you, plans will collapse. Resilience ensures that when the storm comes, you do not sink, you learn to sail. Resilience does not mean avoiding struggle, it means mastering struggle. Every setback carries within it the seed of a lesson or opportunity. Those who lack resilience see only failure. Those who possess it see the hidden gift. Step 1. Shifting your perspective on struggle. The first step to resilience is changing how you view challenges. Most people see them as punishment or proof they are unworthy. But the truth is, every challenge is feedback. Life's way of strengthening you for the level you are entering. Daily practice. When faced with difficulty, ask, what is this teaching me? What strength is this shaping within me? This reframes pain into growth. Step 2. Emotional recovery. Resilience is not about never feeling pain. It is about recovering from it quickly. Every human feels fear, disappointment, or sadness. But resilient people process emotions without becoming trapped by them. They allow themselves to feel, then seize to move forward. Daily practice. When overwhelmed, pause and breathe deeply for 2 minutes. Acknowledge the emotion without judgment. Then ask, what action can I take next? This shifts you from paralysis to momentum. Step 3. Building mental toughness. Resilience requires training your mind to endure discomfort. The world conditions people to seek comfort at all costs. But comfort creates weakness. Discomfort, when embraced, builds strength. Daily practice. Deliberately practice small discomforts. Take a cold shower. Wake up earlier. Push through 1 more rep at the gym. Each act trains your mind that discomfort is not danger. It is growth. Step 4. Using failure as fuel. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of success. Every great innovator, leader and creator has failed more times than most people have tried. The difference is resilience. They used failure as data, feedback and stepping stones. Daily practice. At the end of each day, list 1 thing that didn't go as planned. Instead of labeling it as failure, write the lesson it revealed. The oak that resists the storm may snap, but the bamboo that bends survives. Resilient people know when to persist and when to pivot. Daily practice. When plans collapse, instead of clinging rigidly, ask, what is another way forward? What new path is opening through this obstacle? Step 6. Faith in the bigger picture. Perhaps the deepest layer of resilience is faith, not blind belief, but trust that every event is part of a larger design. This perspective allows you to endure hardship without despair, because you sense purpose even in the pain. Daily practice. Each morning, remind yourself, everything is happening for my growth. Nothing is wasted. This belief transforms setbacks into sacred teachers. The farmer simply said, maybe. Days later, the horse returned with 3 wild stallions. The villagers shouted, what good luck. Again the farmer said, maybe. His son tried to tame one of the stallions, but fell and broke his leg. The villagers wept. What bad luck. The farmer said, maybe. Soon after, soldiers came to recruit young men for war. The farmer's son was spared because of his broken leg. The truth revealed. No event is fully good or bad. Resilience means staying steady, knowing that outcomes are often hidden in time. The eighth key from the secret book they don't want you to read is this. Resilience turns adversity into advantage. You are not defined by what happens to you, but by how you respond. Every setback carries power. Every obstacle is a doorway. Resilience is the key that unlocks it. Resilience does not remove pain, but it transforms it into progress. It does not eliminate failure, but it turns failure into fuel. And once you master resilience, no force, no person, no setback, no storm can stop you. Chapter 9. The secret of connection and influence. You may have the desire, the focus, the belief, the discipline, and even the resilience to rise. But here lies another forbidden truth. No one succeeds. The myth of the self-made person is just that. Every great achievement in history was built not only by individual effort, but through networks of connection, influence, and support. Yet this truth is rarely spoken openly, because when people believe they must do everything alone, they remain small and exhausted. The hidden key is this: when you learn how to connect deeply with others and influence positively, you multiply your power beyond anything possible on your own. Connection is leverage. Influence is expansion. Together, they open doors effort alone could never unlock. Why connection matters. Human beings are wired for connection. From ancient tribes to modern cities, survival and progress have always depended on collaboration. Those who isolate themselves shrink their potential. Those who build meaningful connections expand exponentially. But connection is not about shallow networking or transactional relationships. It is about building bonds of trust, respect, and genuine value. The more authentic your connections, the stronger your influence. Step 1. Shifting from transaction to transformation. Most people approach relationships with a transactional mindset. What can I get? This approach weakens connection. True influence comes when you shift from taking to giving, from transaction to transformation. Daily practice. In every interaction, ask yourself, how can I add value to this person's life? It may be encouragement, support, knowledge, or simply listening. This mindset plants seeds of influence. Step 2. The power of presence. Connection is built not by how much you talk, but by how deeply you listen. In a distracted world, giving someone your full attention is rare and powerful. When people feel truly heard, they open up, trust grows, and influence naturally follows. Daily practice. When speaking with someone, put away distractions. Look into their eyes. Listen without interrupting. Repeat back what you hear to show understanding. Presence builds bonds stronger than words. Step 3. The energy of authenticity. Influence is magnetic when it is authentic. Pretending, exaggerating, or manipulating may create short-term gain, but it destroys long-term trust. True influence comes from congruence, when who you are matches what you say and do. Daily practice. Notice where you feel the urge to hide parts of yourself or perform. Instead, choose honesty. Authenticity repels the false but attracts the aligned. Step 4. The law of reciprocity. When you give freely, others feel compelled to give back. This is not manipulation. It is the natural rhythm of human interaction. By being generous with your energy, you create cycles of exchange. Daily practice. Find one person each day to uplift. Send encouragement, share knowledge, or offer help. These acts accumulate and ripple outward, multiplying your influence. If your circle is filled with negativity, mediocrity, or stagnation, you will unconsciously conform. If your circle is filled with visionaries, doers, and dreamers, you will rise. The secret is to deliberately curate your circle. This does not mean using people, it means aligning yourself with those who elevate you, and in turn elevating them. Daily practice. List the 5 people you spend the most time with. Do they reflect the future you want? If not, begin seeking communities, mentors, and friendships that pull you upward. Influence by example is the essence of leadership. Daily practice. Instead of telling people what they should do, model it. Be the standard. Show consistency. Actions carve influence deeper than words. Step 7. Expanding beyond self. Connection and influence expand most powerfully when you serve something larger than yourself. Movements, causes, and visions that transcend the individual inspire collective energy. Daily practice. Ask yourself, what cause, mission, or vision can I contribute to that impacts more than just me? Align your influence with a purpose greater than yourself, and your reach multiplies. Alone, it burns brightly, but the darkness overwhelms the space. Then it lights another candle, and another. Soon, the room is filled with light. The candle did not diminish by sharing its flame. In fact, it multiplied its impact. This is the secret of connection and influence. Your light grows when you ignite others, but the lives you touch, the people you uplift, and the network you cultivate, that is lasting power. The more authentically you influence, the greater your reach. Remember, your destiny is not shaped in isolation. It is amplified through the people you empower, the lives you touch, and the legacy you build together. Chapter 10. The Secret of Legacy and Eternal Purpose. We have walked through desire, belief, focus, resilience, discipline, vision, gratitude, and connection. Each chapter has been a key, unlocking another hidden truth about how to attract and create the life you deserve. But there is one final secret, the most forbidden of all. It is the truth that ties everything together. The truth that ensures your efforts are never wasted, your energy never forgotten. That secret is legacy. Legacy is not just about what you accomplish. It is about what remains when you are gone. It is the ripple effect of your actions, words, and influence. It is the unseen thread you weave into the fabric of human history. And here is the truth they don't want you to know. When you live with purpose and design your legacy with intention, you become immortal, not in body, but in impact. The nature of legacy. Most people live for immediate gratification. They chase money, status, comfort, and though these bring moments of satisfaction, they vanish with time. Legacy, on the other hand, endures. Legacy is what your children remember. Legacy is the wisdom that continues through those you've taught, mentored, or inspired. Legacy is the cause you contributed to that keeps growing long after you've stepped aside. The secret of legacy is this: a life built only for yourself ends with yourself. A life built for others endures forever. Step 1. Discovering your eternal why. Purpose and legacy begin with a question. Why am I here? Not in a vague, mystical sense, but practically. What is the unique contribution only you can make? What story do you want your life to tell? Daily practice. Write down the values you want to be remembered for. Is it courage, integrity, love, contribution? Then ask yourself daily, am I living this value right now? Step 2. Turning success into significance. Success is achieving goals for yourself. Significance is creating impact for others. Success adds comfort to your life. Significance adds meaning to your life. Both are valuable, but significance is what transforms fleeting success into enduring legacy. Daily practice. Ask yourself, how can I turn today's success into significance? For example, if you gain wealth, how can it be used to uplift others? If you gain knowledge, how can you share it to empower? Step 3. The legacy mindset. Legacy is not built in grand gestures at the end of life. It is built daily in small, consistent acts. Every word you speak, every choice you make, every hand you extend contributes to your story. Daily practice. Each morning, ask, what small act of significance can I contribute today? Over time, these compound into a legacy of greatness. Step 4. Planting trees you may never sit under. There's an old saying, a society grows great when old men plant trees whose shade they know they shall never sit in. This is the heart of legacy, investing in futures you may never personally enjoy, knowing that your contribution makes them possible. It may be raising a child with values, mentoring someone who surpasses you, or contributing to causes that uplift humanity. Daily practice. Identify one long-term contribution you can commit to. Something that may not reward you immediately, but will benefit others for generations. It is the alignment of your daily choices with your deepest purpose. It is the consistency of living in a way that embodies what you wish to leave behind. When your life and legacy align, you stop chasing hollow victories. You begin creating meaning with every breath. Daily practice. Before decisions, big or small, ask yourself, does this align with the legacy I want to leave? A story of legacy. There once was a man who dedicated his life to planting orchards. Year after year, he dug holes, planted seeds, watered trees. He never sold the fruit, never profited. People mocked him, saying, You will never eat all this fruit yourself. He replied, I do this for those who come after me. Decades later, children laughed in the orchards, families gathered to harvest, travelers stopped to rest in the shade. The man was long gone, but his legacy lived on in every life his trees nourished. Your life is your orchard. What trees are you planting? The final secret, the forbidden truth is this: your life becomes limitless when you live beyond yourself. The wealth you create, the habits you master, the influence you wield, all of it becomes greater when tied to a legacy that outlives you. They don't want you to know this, because when you awaken to your power to create legacy, you stop being a consumer of life and start being a creator of history. Focus gave you clarity, discipline gave you structure, resilience gave you strength, vision gave you purpose, gratitude gave you abundance, connection gave you influence, and now, legacy gives you eternity. This is the secret they don't want you to read. You are not ordinary. You are not powerless. You are not destined for mediocrity. You are a force capable of reshaping reality, uplifting lives and leaving behind a story that echoes through generations. Build meaning. Create more than comfort. Create impact. Be more than remembered. Be eternal. And as you step forward, remember this: the greatest tragedy is not death, but a life unlived, a purpose unfulfilled, a legacy never planted. Do not let that be your story. Instead, rise, contribute, and leave behind a life that whispers to the future, I was here, and I made it better. If this journey lit a fire in you, don't let it stop here. Hit that like button to keep the momentum alive. Subscribe to your channel name for more powerful audiobooks, and share this with someone who needs to hear these secrets today. Your legacy begins with action, so take the next step right now. Until next time, stay focused, stay unstoppable, and keep creating the life you deserve.